And then I look at it as, if you're preparing to come to America to have a baby so that you could, on the soil, so that you could have what you call an American citizen and be able to utilize the benefits of America, you're human trafficking. That's planned. And you're birthing a child. That's human trafficking to me. And I know people don't like to hear that, and it's strong language, but that's what it is. Even those individuals crossing the border right now that have children or pregnant, they're bringing them into a situation where they know it's not legal, it's illegal. So it's human trafficking. I'll land.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I really I agree with Trump in a sense. Like, yeah, you cannot just come to America and have a baby and think, yeah, you're a citizen. It got to be some type of regulations on it. You know what I'm saying? But in a sense, sometimes, like, what if like, people was escaping from some harm in their country, and it could be some harm that America has caused. America goes into a lot of countries and they mess up things, they blow up things. So if some people come here and they have their kids here, eh, in a way of them escaping some type of harm, how could you knock that? Like, you get what I'm saying? So in a sense, yes, I agree. There has to be regulations with birthright citizenship, but all of it, I don't agree with. And I land there.
I think I have a little bit of like a different viewpoint when I look at this, because from my understanding, the way that the, SCOTUS, so
Abby, you still there? Oh, you froze up. Was that me? Wait a minute. Did she freeze up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, here she go. Yeah. What happened? Can you hear me? Oh, wait. Here she go. Oh no, that's somebody else. Abby? Can you hear me?
okay.
Wait. Mr. Wilson?
I'm here. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, wait, I gotta see. Yeah, but your audio mute up for a minute. You have headphones?
Okay. Yeah, I can get some.
Yeah, put the headphones on.
I have to go get them real quick. Is there a mute button for now?
Yeah, I'll mute you and while you go get it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It's still not working.
All right, are you
Okay.
there?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I'm probably having some connection issues. Oh, so I was saying, from the way that I understand it, SCOTUS basically ruled that the lower courts could not impose a national injunction on, like federal courts, from what I'm understanding. And so therefore they sent it back to those district courts to be able to rule district wide, which I want to say New Jersey and Massachusetts are the districts that are fighting to basically remove citizenship from certain cases. They actually have pending cases of children that were born to undocumented immigrants. So from the way that I'm looking at it, this is going to cause an influx in cases to the districts. They're going to have to go in and do the work to go and find these cases when a child is born. And I don't know that the system, it just depends. Like, I live in Texas. I don't know that our system is made to be able to go through so many cases. I feel like instead of us fixing the immigration system as a whole, we're going after, the people that are having children. And I think that we're putting a band-aid on an issue that needs to be, spoken of and needs to be fixed from the head up. We're trying to fix a toenail when the whole body is in chaos. And I wanted to say some things when it comes to undocumented immigrants. When we look at the population in certain cities that are sanctuary cities, and we look at the economics of those cities, New York, I forget the other, Los Angeles, Chicago. These are sanctuary cities that have an influx of undocumented immigrants. We see a pattern here of those cities having more taxes being paid to the federal government than they ask in help for welfare, like we do see in more poor cities that don't have a large population of undocumented immigrants. And so I tend to look at that for numbers to see if the undocumented population is a burden on an economic system like we would see in California. California is one of the states that prior to the 2017 tax code from Trump being passed, were paying more federal money into the federal government that they were receiving in what we would call like welfare for the state. So, and California has programs for undocumented immigrants. And so I don't see the correlation between an influx in undocumented population and a negative correlation to the economic part of that state. I do think that this ruling is going to put a burden on the districts that want to go after these certain cases. And I think that it's just a big, it's this administration saying, like, kind of fighting these little petty fights to be able to say that they did something, when in reality, he hasn't passed any new policies for immigration that's going to fix the system as a whole. If anything, he has defunded the judges that work to look at cases. So to say that you want to help the crisis with immigration at the same time defunding the judges that we need to look at cases, to me seems very contradictory.
Well, part of this ruling, I do know, is the federal judges that were blocking Trump, the SCOTUS were basically saying one judge cannot rule against something that's going to affect nationwide. It should be a panel of federal judges, not just one judge. So whether it was one judge in this district or another, it was one judge saying, no, you don't have the power to do this. And part of SCOTUS ruling is it cannot just be one federal judge that has the last say so.
I think that's going to cause an issue also, because when we talk about districts, if let's say that I've been listening to what they're talking about, let's say they're talking about a statewide and they're naming it a district. If you have a New Jersey resident who has a child in per se Texas, who's out, let's say she's 9 months pregnant and she's visiting family and she has a child in Texas, does the same law apply to her, being that she's a New Jersey resident? And in that district, we don't give citizenship to her child, but she had this child in Texas. Like, it's more complex than, what they're cutting it out to be.
You said if a woman is
Right.
pregnant, but she's not a citizen here, but she's visiting.
So let's say she's an undocumented immigrant, but she's a resident. So she lives, all of her information has to be sent to New Jersey because she resides in New Jersey. New Jersey has an injunction that's removing citizenship from her child, right?
But
Because
she's
that,
undocumented.
right. But you can be undocumented and have an ITIN number and have a resident and have like bills to your name and that sort of thing. You can pay taxes.
But
Okay.
but as far as any type, she doesn't have permanent residency paperwork. She doesn't have a green card. She doesn't have a visa. She's just undocumented, which means she came here illegally. But if you're in a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city, they do allow you, like you said, to get, what is that, ITN number or so forth. So because she's undocumented and she's resident living in New Jersey at the time, but visiting Texas, and she's pregnant and she gives birth to a baby, basically, should that child automatically be a citizen of the United States because the mother is not a citizen? The mother's not.
Yeah.
It depends though. How long has the mother been here?
Well, I think the complexity of what SCOTUS has ruled is the fact that this is going to be a district. This is going to be a district ruling in New Jersey. So if she's in Texas, Texas would have to have an injunction in that area where she gave birth to then bring that case forward to like the judges and then for it to be ruled on and remove citizenship from her child. Like, does that make sense? It's going to put so much, it's going to put a strain on our system beyond that which we already have when it comes to immigration. That's why I say we're creating a bigger problem. We're going to create an influx of more undocumented children when in reality we're not fixing the root of the problem. Does that make sense?
But the root of the problem is that she came to America undocumented and didn't go the legal route. So
Right.
it's laid out, and in our system, it's still, you still have to go through immigration laws, even though the system is not correct, right? It's still not feasible. And we've had an ancestor that did the work, and our Congress did not apply it. So there's all kinds of documentation that they can go by and go ahead and implement something that works, right? And Congress is going to have to do that. Now it's no other way but for them to go in and do that. However, if you're undocumented, and I'm gonna say illegal alien, you're an illegal alien, and your child is also an illegal alien because you wasn't born here. And that child is not the parent. Well, we have a constitution. And this is the problem we're having with, and I'm gonna just say it, this is the problem we're having with immigrants or illegal aliens coming to America now, telling us that our doctrines and our philosophies, or you know what, we don't need to live by those anymore. That's just not how it works in America.
So I do think, sorry.
A little bit of when you're doing this immigration thing, you have to use your common sense a little bit up in it. You know, like, come on, man. Somebody that's been here for 15 years, been paying taxes. You can't get around property taxes. You know what I'm saying? If they have a kid, right, and they've been here for 15 years paying taxes, you don't think that their kid should be a citizen? You want to send
your
parents, where's your common sense? Where's your common sense at?
I as a freedman.
As a freedman, so you just feel as though
but I'm just saying, I'm an American, right? My people we done did a lot of work, right? And in that, the 14th Amendment is specific to the freedmen. It is not for immigrants to utilize as to circumvent immigration. And it's been weaponized against our people, right?
We understand that.
I'm going to highlight how American doctrines are in place. And now we have people that want to come here and not acknowledge that.
I want to ask you something.
That is a problem, because when you cross the border and you don't go and do it legally, then you're a criminal.
I mean, but look, like I said, somebody that's been here for 20 years, have a kid, their kid should be a citizen. I mean, listen.
People that have been
Hold on.